How's it going, friends? Reckless Yuki here, and recently there's been some information on some new gaming peripherals for the PlayStation 4 that's about to be released from a company called Hori, which is going to be a mouse and keyboard adapter. And this mouse and keyboard adapter is supposed to be called the Tactical Assault Commander 4. And I'm going to say that the full name once. I'm just going to call it the TAC4 from now on, just so I don't mess it up. But this is going to be a mouse and keyboard adapter that you plug directly into your PlayStation 4. This is supposed to be released about the same time that Black Ops 3 is going to be released. So that's something kind of interesting, that this is going to be an adapter to allow you to use a mouse and keyboard. Now, I'm personally a huge fan of using a mouse and keyboard adapter for console gaming. I use a Zim 4, which is a fantastic product, and I love and recommend Zim if you're looking at going that route. And also in this video, I want to say that I'm a huge fan of Hori. I love Hori products. They're the best third-party, basically peripheral manufacturer there is, in my opinion. And I really love their fight sticks. Like, their fight sticks are hands down some of the best. I'll definitely choose a Hori over a Mad Catz any day. Now, with that out of the way, I have to say that this product is something that I'm not really that interested in, because I'm gonna kind of turn back the clock a little bit to about maybe 3 to 4 years ago, when Hori had another introduction like this called the Tactical Assault Commander 3, which was for the PlayStation 3. And back then, when I was looking at gaming peripherals, trying to figure out why I was sucking at games and, you know, getting into that whole mess of things, I found mouse and keyboard adapters that are used for consoles that people use for greater accuracy, greater control. And I assumed that that could be something that will help me out. And when I was delving into that world and trying to just kind of get myself immersed in reviews and figure out what's good and what's bad, the Hori Tack 3 was definitely something that was considered bad, because when you would move the mouse in an upward direction, you get this kind of like jagged step with the aim cursors, which is something that you really don't want. The horizontal movements compared to the vertical movements were completely out of sync. So it wouldn't really allow you to have good muscle memory, good muscle feel. And if you like kind of turn it faster than you would like kind of slower, they had like noticeable acceleration from the reviews I saw. And so when I was looking at a mouse and keyboard adapter, I did purchase one, which was the Zim 3, and that was a phenomenal adapter, and I absolutely loved it. And I stopped using it before I started my YouTube channel because I was fearful of being called a cheater, so I went back to a normal controller, and I haven't touched the Zim until the Zim 4, which is recently, and due to my kind of, I guess, more mature thoughts on the whole gaming community and the whole gaming peripherals out there, especially with things like the SCUF and control freaks, I feel that using the mouse and keyboard adapter on a console isn't necessarily cheating, because all these adapters do is emulate the controller. They can't exceed the input speeds that a controller can do. So all it does is basically turns your mouse into a big giant control freak for your analog stick, is really what it does. So because of that, I went back to the Zim 4 and I use it, and that's all I use now when I do gaming on my consoles. But because the TAC4, the Hori Tack4 is about to release, and I kind of was looking at different people making videos on it, looking at different people kind of talking about it on forums, I think people kind of forgot what the TAC3 was, so I assume that people might be hyped up about it, thinking that it might actually work well, because you don't necessarily need an adapter. It's something you plug directly into the PlayStation 4, but I feel that it's not going to be very good. And the reason why is because the Zim is just a fantastic product. It is definitely my favorite go-to device, and that's because with the Zim, you are able to set up specific profiles for specific games, for specific consoles. I mean, the Zim is able to use the Xbox 360, PS3, PlayStation 4, as well as the Xbox One, whereas the TAC4 is only going to be focused on the PlayStation 4. But then with the Zim, you have specific profiles for each game, because each game doesn't handle the same as any other game. If you have one input setting or one kind of, I guess, emulator for a specific game, if this is geared more towards the Call of Duty crowd, and then trying to use that same emulator and same settings on something like Halo or Destiny, you're going to find that it's not going to be as smooth as it was, and you're going to find that you're probably not going to use it for any other game. Whereas with the Zim, you can have specific profiles set up to have specific sensitivities, as well as like things that I'm not very aware of or I'm not really fluent in, and that's setting up specific dead zone calibrations and things like that, where as you move the mouse, it's going to, I guess, emulate the analog sticks differently to make sure that no matter if you're changing from different games, you could have a very close to similar feel between games, so your muscle memory isn't going to change that much, and you're able to perform the same level of, I guess, expertise you would in one game to another. Whereas I feel that that's not going to be necessary, or not going to be I guess, achievable with the T.A.C. because from the T.A.C. there wasn't any customizations, there wasn't anything that you could do to, I guess, basically improve or set up or customize to the level that the Zim is able to do for you. I mean, the Zim is able to set your aim down cursor where you're actually aiming down to specific sensitivities, and even your hip fire cursors where you could kind of set those at different levels or exactly the same. And if a game changes how your aim is between aiming down and hip, then you could kind of set it to manually force it to be the same as you're running around. So that's something pretty cool as well. So anyways, my opinions on the T.A.C. I mean, for 120, 130 US dollars, I feel it's not going to be worth it. And from the experiences that I've seen with the T.A.C. I don't think the T.A.C. is going to be worth the money or really worth the time or investment into it. Now, I'm still kind of, I guess, hesitating about whether or not if I want to purchase this just to do a review on my channel to let you guys know about it. If this is something you guys are interested, mainly because I don't really want to spend $120, $130 on a product that I probably will never ever use. It's just something I'm going to buy and then discard after I'm done with it. But depending on how well, you know, interest is in this, maybe I'll go out and purchase it. I'm not too sure yet. I'm not going to make any promises. But for me, as far as my own personal needs as a consumer, I would not spend my money on this product or really give it much faith. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I love Hori. I love their fight sticks. I love mostly everything about them. But when it comes to mouse and keyboard adapters, I'm gonna possibly recommend, or definitely recommend, something else like the Zim 4. But I would not spend my money, even though it might be considered a better, I guess, you know, bargain. You get the mouse and you get the little keyboard pad, but I think the performance or lack thereof is going to really, I guess, not really allow you to use it happily. I mean, if I was to use the T.A.C. or a regular controller, I would pick a regular controller any day over the T.A.C. just due to the stuttering and jagginess of the mouse and the inconsistencies that it has as far as the reviews that I've seen of the mouse and keyboard adapter from Hori back in, you know, whatever, PlayStation 3 heydays. But anyways, that's it for the video. I'm going to be rambling on for a while if I don't stop now. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you have any concerns, or if you want to know about the T.A.C. if you want me to do a review, definitely know in the comments below as well. So anyways, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. I'll talk to you guys again in the next one. Bye-bye.